Today I will be showing you guys the best way to actually earn free champion training points so that you can actually get this Mikage if you guys are going for it very easily, or at least more obtainable for the free-to-play players. Because as you can see here, there is currently a champion training going on right now that Plarium decided to do. And once this does load, you will see you can actually get a Mikage. Now, of course, there is, I think, a 15,000 or 20,000 mark so that you can actually get the Lady Mikage. Now, the problem with that is that it requires so many points and you're most likely going to be facing a lot of people who will be targeting the soul. Now, me personally, I already have a Mikage right here, so I'm not competing. However, I'm still going to be sharing my secret with you guys so that you can actually get these points very easily. Now, there's actually a very simple trick that you can do here in the campaign firstly. So you can see here that I actually have level 19s here. And what I actually did there was I think I did 4 super raids, and then the next one I actually turned off the super raids, and then I did 1 normal one, then it would reach level 19. Now the difference here is that when I click this right now, it spends 8 energy bringing it to max. But if I go ahead and switch over to normal, and then I use this, it's actually going to bring them to max using only 4 energy. Now I'll show you guys after this run does end. So as you can see, the run has just ended. You can see it is indeed the 4 energy run here. I brought them up to max, and that pretty much means I saved 4 energy for that. And now that may not be a lot, however, if you do this 100 times, you essentially save 400 energy, which is definitely going to add up a lot. Now of course, there is also a similar trick to the 3 stars here. I don't believe I have any of them made up right now. But what would you do is basically you would just run all of them super raids up to level 29. And then you're going to be running it one last time. And then once it's level 29, so you can see if the bar is nearly full, what you actually do is you click that level 3 champion there. You go down, you scroll down, and you click 2 level 1s, and that should actually bring it up to max. Which means you are essentially saving another 4 energy or 8 energy if you guys aren't switching it to normal. Those tips can actually save you so much resources here. As you can see, I'm a free-to-play player. I have nearly 13,000 gems without any problems. And I still do have a ton of energy saved up here. Well, maybe it's not that much. If you've ever wanted me to hop on your raid account and make it better, here's your shot. Join my Discord and apply for my account takeover series. Just know I'll be prioritizing accounts that were started with my exclusive promo link. And the bonus, you'll start raid with a legendary Karato and 4 awesome epics, namely Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage. A huge start. Here's what you'll need to do. Log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Super easy, awesome free champs, and maybe I'll see your account soon. I did use a few already. There are still some energy pots here. And it's definitely going to add up. As you can see, I still haven't used my dailies either. My monthlies are all here. This simple method here will actually save you a ton of energy. Now, the next step to that is actually going to be your fodder. So what fodder means is you basically just feed off the champion to another champion to rank them up. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. Let's use these 3 stars as an example here. So what you would do is go over to campaign, switch it over to brutal, go over to 12-3 or 12-6 or nightmare, depends on where you farm. What you would do is just run these once. So I'll show you guys right here. I'll run another super raids right here, and then I'll bring you guys back once the run is over. So now that the run is over, as you can see here, you actually get 48 of these points. Now if you guys didn't run your food first before feeding them off, you would have actually lost out on these 48 points. Now you can actually go ahead and run this one more time. That's actually the most optimal, doing 2 runs on these 3-star ones. But if you guys have a ton of brews saved up like me, well, technically this isn't a ton, but it's definitely enough to push you to the end goal. What you would do is simply click on your 3-star. Personally, the best way is to actually use 2 brews here, and then you would actually get an extra 28 points. However, there is also the option, pretend this is a level 1. You can actually just use 1 brew and then bring it up to level 10, which would give you around 20 points as well. That method still applies to the 3-star or the 4-star ones. Anything 5-star, I'll show you guys later on. So let's use 4 stars now as an example here. 4 stars, I personally feed them with 3 brews. And by those 3 brews, I can actually get 51 points here. And then when you go ahead and check out over here, we get another 24 points for this. Then same thing goes for this. We gain another 51 points. And then lastly here, we have another food, which we are going to feed to this guy. We get another 51 points. Just from leveling up these 4 champions that we were going to get rid of anyway, we actually gained 200 points already, which is insane. Now what you do is the champions, the food that you actually just leveled up with Bruce, right? You actually feed them to someone who is going to go to another rarity, or the another rank at least. And now you can see here we gain another 100 there. So essentially that strategy has already made us 300 points. Now, we made around 300 points, right? Now we actually want to put in 5 of these. Make sure these affinities actually match the affinity to gain more XP. 5 brews, 1 level 1 champion. When you level him up, it's going to give you 132 points. Now, if you were to be exact, you would earn around maybe like 4 nearing the 500 points already just from doing this strategy. That's just 1 5-star leveling up. And as you can see, we actually gain so many points. So when we go back to the champion training tournament here, we actually already unlocked the next milestone just from doing that simple trick. Now, most of you might not know this, some of you might. However, there is also, of course, some more specific ones where you can actually do this strategy to even be more efficient. Now, if you guys didn't know already, it's actually going to be much better to level up these food. So making more 5 stars, as you can see here, we actually have level 23, 23, and 23. These 3 champions, making these ones will actually earn you more points than straight up leveling up a 5-star champion right here. Let's use Uugo as an example here. When we actually do this, it's not going to give us the exact same amount of points. However, by leveling up these 5-star food, you can actually go ahead and level up someone who you've already made level 50. Now, that can also be done in the Garden Ring if you guys have these 5 slots open. This is definitely going to be super worth it at level 1. What you would do here is, let's say, for example, here I want to level Tyrant on the next champion training, right? I would slap on Tyrant right here, make him level 50, Dur to level 50, Yor to level 50, and then when the champion training does come around, actually, we already have these 5 stars made, so the next thing we need to do is just feed them off to gain even more points from these food. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to use this as an example here. Yes, I'm going to be using chickens. So let's go ahead and use this. My Uugo is going to be leveling 6-star. We gain 300 points there. And then what I wanted to do is feed just a couple of brews here. Ideally, you would get it to level 29. So once it's going to be at level 29, you probably just need 9 brews here. Well, not probably. You need 9 brews. 1 level 1 champion. When you level him up to level 29, you get 224 points. So from leveling this all in all, from the 5-star up until the 6-star, you would probably gain around 1,000 points. Now, you also gain a ton of points by leveling up these smaller ones. As you can see here, I already have a few made up here. You can actually do these, just level them up 15, and then each one of these will of course give you another 15. Then same thing goes, like again, if you guys are low on brews, what you could do is opt to use 1 brew instead. So you can see 18 points for a food champion at level 10. And then when you go ahead and use a different one here, so let's use this. If we go ahead and use this one to 2 brews, you would be gaining 28 points. So again, 28 points there. Well, we need to level up one of these guys again. 28 points for 2 brews, and then you would gain 18 points for only 1 brew. So you actually lose out on 10 points. However, you do save another brew that you can use onto a different champion. So that's definitely a strat that you could definitely keep in mind. And of course, you could also do some other different strategies, some different combinations of the amount of brews and level 1 champions. But that's definitely gonna be a very, very easy way of leveling these champions. Now, another strategy that you can actually do is, remember those epics that you completely hate, right? You pull them, they're absolute garbage, you don't give a crap about them. But what you can actually do is kick them out of the vault and feed them. So as you can see here, I actually have a lot of them at random levels, right? That's actually done on purpose. Now, if we were to go ahead and show you guys a different one, let's scroll all the way down. Do I have a void epic here so we can use void brews? I don't believe I do. But what I would do here is, let's say Morag. Let's say Morag is trash. I don't want her. What you want to do is, instead of keeping her in the vault doing absolutely nothing, you remove her from the vault, you feed her 3 brews, you get 51 points. And then the next thing you do is you find Morag and you kick her back into the vault. Now, as you can see there, instead of having dead weight with these champions that you don't care about, you can actually use them to gain some extra points. This is going to be especially useful if you guys are trying to hit the first place, because you are going to gain so many points. Trust me. Let's just show you guys right here with my point amount. There we go, it loaded. We are already at 5.1k. We started way below this, and as you can see, just in a few minutes here with a few bits of brews and energy, we are actually able to gain so many points. Now, if you guys are going for the mythical skill tome only, or these coins up here, that's definitely alright. You can definitely use this method and gain tons. Don't also forget, for champion training, you can actually use books. So you can actually use legendary books, mythic books, or the epic books, or even rare books to get some free points. So if, let's say I'm gonna use an example here. Let's just use Eurogrim here because I'm most likely using for Hard Fraction Wars anyway. So I'll use one book just to show you guys here. You can basically gain 75 per epic. I think it was 200 per Lego. So that's pretty much the pointing system. Now this I don't really recommend because I'd rather use books on PRCVC. It's gonna give you more benefit. But the next thing you can actually do here is, remember the Wukong that I leveled up, right? You can actually go ahead and scroll to him. Well, unfortunately, I don't have Bruce at the moment. So just for the sake of the video, I'll waste 300,000 here. But when you actually decide to ascend your champions, you also do gain the points. Now, sending them, each star does give them itself a respective amount of points. When you level it up to 6 stars, it's going to give you a lot more. So that's pretty much it. It's very, very easy. Now, I could, of course, go ahead and spend some silver and get more potions to show you guys, but that's definitely quite expensive and not as free-to-play optimal. So I'm not going to be doing that. However, again, that is definitely another way that you can get these champion training points very, very easily. And right now, running campaigns actually not that bad of an idea because you also have this Titan event going on. But you also have this Golden Deck of Fate, wherein you can actually farm tons of these extra rewards that you wouldn't be getting anyway from getting the artifacts from the campaign. And honestly, the rewards this time around is actually really good, and there is also depleting the rarity, so I highly recommend going for this. And when you guys are doing campaign, of course, you do get a ton more XP. You need to keep in mind with your shard count, this mystery shard, you don't get anything from Nightmare. And the only way you're gonna be getting some extra fodder is from these mystery shards. Now, lastly, before I end the video here, what you can actually do with these 1 stars if you guys don't want to run them in the campaign. If you were to run them in the campaign on 12-3 Brutal, you would run once on Super Raids and then you would switch to Hard without Super Raid, and then they would reach level 10 very, very easily at the maximum efficiency. But if you guys don't want to do that, what you want to do is just click this level 1 champion, right? You slap 1 brew onto him and then 3 other level 1 champions, and then he is basically ready to go here. And as you can see, we did get rid of him, we made some space, and then we can go ahead and pull the next 10 mystery shards, which is going to be very, very effective for the amount of points you can get, especially if you guys are stacked on mysteries like me. That strategy is definitely very viable. You guys save a ton of energy by doing that. Now, that pretty much does wrap up the video. I hope you guys did learn something. These are some free-to-play secrets that I do teach you guys, and if you guys want more of them, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.